2 years ago, I took a leave of absence in college and decided to go all in on my business, ghostwriting business on Twitter, and I was able to scale it to 20K per month. And during that time, during my entrepreneurial journey, rising and establishing the business, I realized how little university helps you with success. And I'm not saying this to discredit the university system. I think there are some people who benefit from it. I just think that in today's modern world, it's so there's a lot of things that are impractical. You know, in a rapidly changing world, the knowledge that we get from university is already like 10 years behind, even though it was published this year, right? Because things are changing so rapidly that the things that were established before may not be applicable nowadays, especially in the humanities and technology. So I'm recording this video because I went back to college um, to get a degree and to use it to migrate. Now, you might be asking why. Why did you do that, Nathaniel? You just continue your business and buy a visa somewhere? Well, the thing is, as I was studying how to migrate from the Philippines, I'm from the Philippines. There's two major ways. Number one is to have established business for 5 years. Now, I only had my business for a year during that time, and I needed to spend 4 more years to get to be legitimate enough to apply for a visa. The next thing is the next way is to get a professional certificate, which is could be a degree, and use that to apply for a visa. Now, I only have 1 year left in university, so I thought it was a no-brainer, right? I thought 1 year in university, I could still continue running the business, which I am, and I could just get out of here. But as I went back to college, I was astounded by how, like, I was surprised. I thought that I didn't change that much, that I was still the same person as I left. But then when I went back, I realized it was completely different. I didn't have much interest on what they were saying. First, because I was interested in business, but also second, I just think that it is a lot of university subjects, courses, is too theoretical for the real world. Um, a lot of it tries to predict what groups, societies, how they act, when in the real world it's completely different, because how a society acts when it's a collective is different when one when there's only one person who acts, right? And if you go into the real world, more likely than not, you will deal more with individuals than groups, because even groups have leaders, and the leader is the one that you will be communicating with, and it's a completely different game. The things that they teach in university, I almost didn't use any of it. I had to study again. Like, I studied books. I read so many books on business, entrepreneurship, sales, offer making, lead sourcing, lead generation. These things, it taught me so much more though than what university has taught me for 3 years. That 1 year of me locking in and going all in on entrepreneurship taught me so much more and gave me so much more confidence that I am ready to pursue real world activities. Hence, I am a bit flustered by the fact that tomorrow I will go to university again. And, I don't want to complain because, well, I am complaining now, but I don't want to make excuses for myself. I don't want to say that, yeah, I shouldn't be doing this because I decided to do it. I'm doing it for the degree, so that I can migrate, and I need to take responsibility for it. But I do want to share with you um, an idea from the book Skin in the Game by Nicholas Nassim Taleb, and he talks about there about the intellectuals yet idiots (IYI), people who think that who are so obsessed with knowledge for knowledge's sake, um, that they forget that there is a different kind of knowledge grounded in reality. I cannot. I try to word this as best as I can, but I think he explains it so. He explains it very deeply in the book, and I don't think I'll be able to explain it as well. But how I understood it is that there are people who don't have skin in the game, who give comments based on the theoretical knowledge that they have, the knowledge that they've acquired through simple observation, and they give advice to people who are part of the game, who are part of the real world, and think that they should act in a certain way. But the problem is, what you think works theoretically does not always work in real life, because randomness, probability is absolutely crazy. If you think about it, I've been playing poker lately, and what I like about poker is that even though you have 90% chance of winning, let's say when you have like a pocket aces, you are high. Like your probability of winning is so high that it's almost like it's the strongest hand, and everyone knows that if you get pocket aces, which is two aces, you should like shove or at least make it a big pot. But even though you have pocket aces, if the other guy gets a better hand in the flop or the turn or the river, just the hands on the table, they will still win. Even if they have if they had lower chance of winning, if they get the right card, they will win. And that's the crazy part about probability. Yes, it is more probable for you to win if you have pocket aces, but it is still possible for them to win. It's less probable for them to win, but it's possible. And that's just how luck works. Things that we can't control. Sometimes we can't control what cards will be put on the table, and we could just lose. And I think it's the same thing with knowledge, with theoretics, with intellectualism, is that we can tell you what the ideal thing, what the ideal action could be. We can theorize, okay, if you have pocket aces, if you have this amount of resources, if you have this opportunity, you should take it, or you should do this, or you should do that. But then the world is so complex. Things just happen out of nowhere. And the best way for you to really learn how to operate in the world is to go into it. I think that's where the university falls short, is that university is a think tank where it's almost an echo chamber of people just saying the same things over and over again, and they say that this is the right thing to do, this is the right thing to do, this is the right thing to do, but we never have time to put it out into the world. I remember there was one time I went to I had a class, and I was proposing a project that could impact the university, because there's like, in my university there's people who live there, so it's a village itself, and I proposed an idea that could impact those people, but they said that, like the professor said that it was too complex. Instead, we created a paper about a hypothetical situation for people with disabilities. Now, I have nothing against people with disabilities. I think that they should be given opportunities. They should also be taken care of. But we never did that. We never followed up on that project. We only had mental masturbation, where we created this beautiful paper, beautifully written paper for persons with disabilities, but never implemented it. The one I was proposing was something that was, it was more complex, yes, but it was something that could actually impact people. It could actually make change. I think that's what's missing in university, and that's why a lot of people could get bored in university, just like me, and just like you if you're watching this. And I also think that's why a lot of people graduate in university but end up being underemployed, meaning they are employed in a job that is below what they were studying for. For example, they studied law, they're just a waiter, something like that, right? And that's why I think we need to be able to put skin in the game as the ones who as agents of change, as people. If you're watching this, I'm pretty much sure that you also want to do something more than just reading books and reciting to your professor and giving them what they want. You want to make a change in the world, do something that actually moves the needle. I think if you're the type of person, we need to put ourselves in situations that would enable us to do that. Start a business, get a job even, or like do something that you know will make a change, make something happen, stir up the world. And that's how we put skin in the game, or even better yet, soul in the game. I think that's the point of this video, is to tell you that if you are bored in university, do something else that would change the world. You could also start posting content like what I'm doing here, and try to put a message out there that will resonate to someone. So yeah, that's my rant for today. I'm out here enjoying my sunlight, getting tan, getting ready for tomorrow for university. Also, you should also do that. Get healthy, get jacked, and I'll see you soon. Bye.